how do you know when a game works? How do you know if this game is working?
You give the player the toy and the player decides what the game is, which I find provocative and interesting. A ball, 1,000 different games you can play with it, but because of the ball's design, it decides what potential games can be played with it. But it's the player who gets excited and inspired by it.
One of the games that we play is called Feats of Daring, and we choose the winner from a group of participants based on their courage. So we have them go through different rounds, and the first round is you have to show us your feat. And if you don't show us your feat, you don't make it to the next round.
You as the makers and the artists are explicitly saying, like, if you don't follow the rules, you're going to lose. And you're really kind of like a referee on that.
Heck yeah. A game is working when the mechanic disappears and the play emerges.
How do the mediums of theater and games encourage and inhibit play and participation? And what's the use in separating those two modes? Is that useful?
What are the conditions under which audiences as participants will enter in as players of a game versus audiences, even participatory audiences of a theater piece?
Thinking about sort of repeatability or replayability. I definitely have gone to participatory theater events where I think as a theater scholar, oh, I might want to write about this, but I actually feel like I might be cheating if I go again. They'll know I'm going again. It was a very intimate experience. Maybe I can ask a friend to go, whereas with other types of games, I maybe would just play it again. Maybe that would be built in. So
durationality expands, whether it's a D&D campaign for 20 years, whether it's a 4 or 5 hour dance marathon, whether it's the free kicks at the end of a World Cup match where you've watched people exhaust themselves and it comes down to final choices and final moments. Those are things that heighten that emotion for all of us as spectators, as participants in all levels of it.
So I think the games in theater, just in a basic way, can create spontaneity and agency for the performer collaborators and the creators of the piece, as well as for the audience members. No one knows what happens next in games.
How do you create space for non-participants and opportunities for different kinds of play? And we're asking, how do you break the show, or how do you not break the show?
One of the things that someone with agency would be allowed to do is to choose not to do something. So it seems to me that giving participants the choice to be able to refuse is also showing them that they have like a wide range of choices.
I think what's also happening for me is when you talk about agency, it implies that there are these sacred processes and sacred responsibilities. Syrus, what you're talking about, like what happens when somebody can come back or somebody has to stay, or what happens if we change the process that we're in because I'm offering a generative refusal that says, oh, well, let's think about it this way, or can we think about it this way? That everybody has to buy into that.
But I was thinking about what it would mean to imagine a different kind of theater, one where you could refuse but also come back. Like, what would it mean to create, maybe not a mod, I mean, and that's a new word for me too, but what would it mean to create the kind of environment where you could come and go?
But I think, what we're kind of dancing around is really this idea that one person's way of engaging, or the need that one person has in a particular performance as an actual creator or as a audience participant, that sort of thing, might be in conflict with somebody else's needs, and it's a struggle to figure out how exactly to navigate that.
We'll get started where we left off, which is the term refusal for this group sat awkwardly. And I wonder if we can kind of like chat through our process of why the term refusal was a concept we wanted to unpack in this conversation.
I feel like a lot of Canadian theater doesn't actually do hard refusal at all as a meaningful kind of artistic gesture. And so like we really sat down like, well, what examples can we find of hard refusal? Because if it's not actually hard refusal, I would not actually call it refusal at all. I would call it something else.
You know, at what point when we're creating these immersive environments and experiences, like, should the world that we make and the experience that we make be able to withstand a medium or almost hard refusal?
Do I have the right, even if they bought a ticket to come to my show, to say, in order to participate in this artwork, you must do this thing at this time in this way?